Welcome to the Compact Murder Podcast from compactmurder.com, the show where we explore murders, murderers, serial killers, and assassinations. This is episode 41, The Murder of King William II. It was a warm summer afternoon in the year 1100 when the King of England rode into the New Forest for what should have been an ordinary day of hunting. His name was William Rufus, William II to the history books, and he would not ride out again. That evening his lifeless body was found on the forest floor with an arrow through the chest. It was written off as a tragic hunting accident. No royal inquiry, no arrests, no witnesses, just a dead king and a very convenient transfer of power. Because within hours of William's death, his younger brother Henry had raced to seize the crown, leaving behind a trail of suspicion that has lingered for over 900 years. This is the story of the mysterious death of a monarch brought down by an arrow, perhaps by accident, perhaps by design. King William II, who was also known as William Rufus because of his red hair or his ruddy complexion, was the third son of William the Conqueror. When his famous father died in 1087, the family estate was carved up. Normandy went to the eldest son, Robert Curthose. The youngest, Henry, got a fat purse of gold, and William Rufus got England. The late king's second son, Richard, had died in 1075, ironically from a hunting accident. He was strong, intelligent, and ruthless. He could be charming when he wanted to be, but he ruled with a heavy hand. His reign was defined by military conflict, heavy taxation, and regular clashes with the church. He promoted favourites, taxed the barons, seized land from nobles, and used his power freely, without much concern for how it was perceived. He wasn't particularly pious, which ruffled feathers in a deeply religious society. His feud with Anselm, the Archbishop of Canterbury, became legendary, and his general attitude toward the church was, at best, antagonistic. He so put off some chroniclers of the time that they claimed his death was divine punishment. But William didn't seem to care. He was the king. He did things his way. And so, on the 2nd of August 1100, William went hunting in the New Forest, which was a normal pastime for kings and nobles. Alongside him was a small party of noblemen, including a man named Walter Tyrrell, a Norman noble who had married into one of William's most trusted families. Tyrrell was considered a skilled archer and a loyal courtier. At some point during the hunt, William and Tyrrell were separated from the main group. What happened next is still a mystery. What we know is that an arrow was fired. It struck William in the chest, piercing his lung. He died almost immediately. According to legend, Walter Tyrrell panicked and fled. He didn't stay to explain, didn't send for help. He mounted a horse and rode straight for the coast, eventually reaching Normandy. William's body was left behind, sprawled in the undergrowth until a local charcoal burner discovered it and loaded it onto a cart to take to Winchester. And that officially was the end of the story. A tragic accident in the woods, a hunting mishap, the kind of thing that happens from time to time. But from the moment it happened, people had questions. Why did Tyrrell flee if it was an accident? Why was there no investigation? Why was the king's body treated with so little ceremony? And most importantly, why was Henry, William's younger brother, so very ready to take the throne? Because here's what happened next. While William's body was still cooling on the forest floor, Henry was already on the move. By morning he had ridden to Winchester, where the royal treasury was kept. He secured it before anyone else had the chance. Just 3 days later, he was crowned King Henry I at Westminster Abbey. His elder brother Robert, who the crown should have gone to according to Norman custom, was away on crusade, and Henry wasted no time. He moved swiftly, decisively, and without resistance. That level of preparation and confidence suggests he may have been expecting something. So, was it an accident or was it murder? The case for an accident is straightforward. Hunting was dangerous, long bows were powerful, visibility was limited, and accidents did happen. Walter Tyrrell may have loosed a shot at a deer and hit the king instead? If so, fleeing the scene could have been a panic-driven response to what he feared would be seen as treason, even if it was unintentional. But the murder theory has its own compelling evidence. Start with motive. William was not a popular king. He had made enemies among the barons, the clergy, and even his own family. He ruled with an iron hand and little interest in diplomacy. His disputes with the church were particularly intense. For men like Archbishop Anselm or the monks who chronicled his reign, William's sudden death must have felt like divine retribution. But there's one person who stood to gain the most: his brother Henry. At the time of William's death, Henry had money but no land. He was the youngest of William the Conqueror's sons, with limited political power. With William Rufus dead and Robert still fighting in the Holy Land, Henry saw his chance and took it. He rode for the treasury, secured it, and got himself crowned, all before most of the kingdom even knew what had happened. Was he involved in the death? There's no direct evidence, but he certainly benefited, and no one moved faster to seize power. Then there's Walter Tyrrell. Why did he disappear? Why didn't he come forward later to tell his side of the story? He always denied firing the fatal shot, but he never returned to England to clear his name. His escape and silence have fed centuries of suspicion, and finally the pattern. William Rufus wasn't the only royal to die in the New Forest. His brother Richard had died there decades earlier, also during a hunt. So did his nephew. In an age steeped in symbolism and superstition, the New Forest began to look like cursed ground or the perfect place to stage a believable accident. There's no way to prove what really happened in those woods that day. The records are thin. The witnesses are long gone. And the body was buried quickly, without ceremony, at Winchester Cathedral. But for all the uncertainty, one thing is clear. William Rufus was the kind of king who made enemies. And on the 2nd of August 1100, one of those enemies may have taken aim and fired. His death wasn't just a personal loss. It shifted the future of the English crown. It put Henry I on the throne, setting into motion a new chapter in royal history. Whether that arrow was an accident or an assassination, it changed the course of a kingdom. And as for the New Forest, it still stands today quiet and ancient. The trees remember, but they aren't telling. I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Compact Murder Podcast from compacthistories.com. If you did, why not leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts? And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. If you would like to support us more directly, please consider buying us a coffee. Head on over to compacthistories.com/murdercoffee to see how. Also, please check out our other Compact podcasts. You will find them all at compacthistories.com. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.